Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new season of the Rugby Europe Super Cup. We get underway with Devils versus Iberians. You join us live in Brussels on a very busy weekend. Devils looking for a better start to the season than they got last year. Iberians looking to build on a semi-final performance that produced one of the best games of the tournament overall. They fell 3 points short against Black Lion on that occasion, but it's a new season, a new start, new momentum, and a new chance to really take a foothold in this competition. We're about 10 minutes away from kickoff. Very much looking forward to bringing you all of the action. And joining us for great company, an expert insight, Adam Ash. Adam, how are you?
Doing well, Dave. Good to be here with you today.
It's an exciting time, isn't it? As we see the players getting patched up at the beginning of the season. They spend most of the season getting patched up these days because it's a heavy old game and a heavy old competition. But first game of the season, obviously winning is paramount. But what are the non-negotiables that the coaches are going to want to see from the players today?
I think with the new season beginning, both coaches are going to want to see players put the things out there on the field that they've been working on in pre-season, and I guess one of the forefronts that is normally at the front of every successful team is effort and work rate. So I'm sure, regardless of the result today, I think both coaches are going to want to see these teams out there today putting everything on the line and playing for one another and putting what they've worked on in the off-season out there.
Well, you were involved with this competition last year, and looking at the team sheets, of course, there are a lot of new names, a few familiar names. But what was it about the competition? What was it about the division that really impressed you last year?
I think there were a lot of really, really great games last season in the competition. I thought there was some really, really good exposure for top quality players on all sorts of different teams, and we've seen some fantastic individual performances, but some fantastic team performances too. So I think it's a fantastic thing that this competition is up and running, and I think this season is going to be a massive year for the Super Cup. There's going to be teams coming into this year with a lot of development and growth off the back of last year, and I think it's going to make for an even better competition this year.
Well, this is the Western Conference. Of course, everybody sat there on 0 points. However, it is a busy weekend. Everybody playing. You can watch all of the games, of course, on Rugby Europe TV. Delta versus Lusatinos tomorrow. I'll be on that one, and you'll be on a really exciting one over in the Eastern Conference, because the champions, Black Lion, well, they're not the only Georgian team in town now, are they? They've got a rival, they've got a derby, and that is a healthy competition that's really going to help this competition to grow even further.
I think so. Traditionally speaking, the Georgian teams are very, very physical. Black Lion having a fantastically successful season last year in the Super Cup, and I think it's fantastic to be introducing another Georgian team into this year's competition.
Well, a little bit earlier on, both captains with the referee. First coin toss of the year. I think he nearly lost the coin as well. These hard concrete floors that went rolling away. Now, of course, it's a coin toss. It's the chance to get a victory, but really, it's the chance to look the opponent in the eye the first time. Do you put too much importance on who's kicking, who's receiving, or is it literally a case of let's get this show on the road, let's get this game underway?
I think let's get the show on the road. I think both teams will have prepared for either sort of outcome here with receiving the kick or kicking to opposition. It's getting to that point of game time where all these things will have been ticked off and teams will be very clear about what they're trying to do, whether they're exiting or whether they're trying to put pressure on the opposition. So I think, let's get the game underway.
Well, this is the starting 15 for the Devils for the first time this season. Victor Pazgrat is the captain in the centre. It's an important job for him as well, because it's a relatively fledgling competition, and of course, relatively fledgling history of it. As we have a look at the Iberians team, so much success for them last year. It'll be Castiglione over on the right wing who's the captain. But it was two very comfortable, very convincing wins last year for Iberians, and With the new players coming in, of course, they look at the results, but it is the chance to literally wash it all off. It's a fresh start. It's a new opportunity to do something brilliant, Adam.
It is, as you say, a lot of changes, a new competition in terms of starting fresh.
I'm
There's
here
going to
with
be
Frédéric Koch, backs coach for the Brussels Devils. Good afternoon, Fred. This is the first game for your team in the Rugby Europe Super Cup for 2022. What are your objectives for the season?
Oh, better than last season, of course, because we must increase our level season after season. But we will see, of course, because the opposition today is very strong, and also the Lusitanos and the Delta. Then for us is to have at the final ranking perhaps 8 or 10 points is our aims for the season.
Okay. And what kind of rugby do you expect from the opposition today?
Surely the same last season, I hope so. Of course, the Spanish are very strong, very powerful on the contact. They are professional. Then, of course, the fitness are there. Then we hope that we can recognize this kind of game and also put our system in peace.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Fred. Good luck today. I'm here with Michael Walker-Fitton, forwards coach for the Iberian team. Good afternoon, Michael. Firstly, this is the first game for your team in the Rugby Europe Super Cup for this year. What are your objectives for the season?
Well, the objectives for us are to compete, to win as many games as we can, and to qualify for the semi-finals. Hopefully, we'd like to qualify in our home stadium. And yeah, that's where we're at.
And what kind of rugby do you expect from the opposition today?
Well, we had their 2 games last season against the Belgium team, and they were good. They were strong in the contacts. They had a good set piece, and we're expecting another strong game in the contacts today, and that they're going to be a good test for us.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you very much. Good game.
Well, both teams are out ahead of this opening game of the season in the Rugby Europe Super Cup. The fans are here as well. Great to have their company and great to have your company wherever you're watching around the world. Well, the teams are out and ready to go. A small but vocal crowd. Very much looking forward to this one, as much as we are very much looking forward to bringing it to you as well. Killian O'Brien of Germany, the man out in the middle. And considering both of the coaches in the interview mentioned the physicality, and that's where they're going to look to dominate the game, he's going to have a busy afternoon, Adam Ash.
I do think so. When you look at this Devils team from last season, one of the big strengths that they had was their physicality. They had some really powerful players that like to get their hands on the ball and get over that gain line. And from the Iberians' point of view, some standout guys like Nicolas Serrado, Kurt Tafuga, who love getting their hands on that ball, expressing themselves and making sure the opposition know what kind of day they're in for early on in the game.
Will Devils be able to impose themselves? They're realistic with their targets this year. The coach said 8 to 10 points. Will they be able to pick some up today? As for Iberians, they're already setting targets on the semi-finals. A victory today would get them off to a great start. Zabalegui gets the season underway. Devils receiving the kickoff in the white jerseys. Iberians with their hands on the ball and immediately into the 22. Fantastic start and a heavy early carry from Sasha Casanas, the second rower. Munilla out to the blind side, shifted on by Zabalegui. Oh, Iberians already knocking on the door. Sending it up through the big men. Lucas Santa gets a carry. Oh, they can't wait to get their hands on the ball here, Iberians. Breaking through contact. Baltazar Taibo takes them to within 5. What a start from Iberians. Up towards the line. Just short. All eyes on the referee who says held up. And that is a lightning start. And Brussels Devils lucky to escape.
Ferocious start there by the Iberians. They are fantastic to get that turnover there off the kickoff. Good chase, good pressure. And getting their hands on that ball and building some really good phases, looking to be very direct with how they're starting this game, not passing the ball too much, but looking to go over that gain line and build phases, very close to scoring there.
Well, already a Devils player feeling the heat. And at the start of the season, that is exactly what you want from an Iberians perspective, isn't it? And no surprise, when they're going forward, lads lining up, they just can't wait to get their hands on the ball.
Yeah, really, really good stuff there. Their coaches will be really pleased with how they've started this game. Devils already on the back foot after receiving that kick-off and losing it, and Iberians just looking to make a statement very early on in this game and go through the middle, and I think they've done that very well. 5 or 6 phases built and probably made 15 to 20 metres there off the back of that, coming very close to scoring, so they'll be pleased how they started this game.
Well, Valentin Bustos there. We've seen his back row partner, Lucas Santa, in that red scrum cap. Already get the go forward. This doesn't look great for Brussels, does it?
Guys, I think it's a change. It looks like a change. Yeah. It's going to be a change.
Well, and after the first phase of play, there is going to be a change here for Brussels Devils. Karel De Pijp, not how he imagined his season would begin, but player safety paramount, and he'll leave the field.
Come on.
And the kick goes long down the field, and Iberians have the chance to come again. Already up over the halfway, another direct carry. That time Kirk Tafuga takes them up over halfway. Get to work the short side again, Iberians, and Zabalegui runs out of room. The 2 front rowers, Gerardo and Blanco, making meters again. This time it's Michimole. Rascon hits the line and gets the ball away. Quick hands here from Iberians, and now Bustos looking for the offload. The captain, Castiglione, presents the ball. There's Santa in the red hat. Penalty advantage, Iberians. What can they do with this? Oh, they've got space out here. John Bell into the 22. Oh, the offload doesn't go to Rascon's hands. It's out on the far side. And we'll go back for the penalty.
Really nice face shape there from Iberians. You can tell every player on the team is very clear around their roles and what they're trying to do. Playing off 9, playing through 10, going back to the short side and using some really nice options there. And you know, that kind of variation is going to really keep this Devils team second guessing what they're doing.
Statement of intent from Iberians. 3 easy points on offer, but they go for the corner. That is a team who's come here with a purpose.
Yeah, interesting decision to go to the corner. I think what we'll see off this is a line-out drive and an area of the Super Cup last year where we've seen a lot of tries.
Mehimole. First line out of the Super Cup for him. Plenty of targets, plenty of options. No jumper thrown up by the Devils. And as you suspected, Adam, it is the catch and drive. It's looking good as well. Pablo Mehimole in the armchair, cruises over. And it's taken just 3 minutes for Iberians to get the first try of the season.
Really good try, nicely set up drive. Devils were just a little bit slow to stop the momentum. You know, the first, second, or the initial stages of any line-out drive are really, really important. That momentum battle it's important that you win that, and I think Iberians there got that moving forward nicely. And once it starts moving, it can be very, very difficult to stop. So they'll be pleased with this, getting on the front foot physically at the start of this game here with a nice drive and maul try.
The Brussels Devils have been under the pump in these opening phases. Baltazar Taibo on kicking duty today. That's the extras. Simple enough. Devils 0, Iberians 7. And at this point, we're so early in the game, but Devils have just got to be thinking about a way to get their hands on the ball.
Yeah, you know, I think you're bang on there, Dave. So when they received that kick-off at the start of the game, it's just the simple things like gathering that and exiting well and playing in the right areas of the field. They come under a bit of pressure there just for the last 5 minutes because they were stuck within their own half.
They've gone deep with the kick-off, and Tafuga takes it into contact for Iberians. Decent clearance from Zabalague, instantly relieving the pressure.
That was a really nice exit from Iberians. You know, I think that's exactly what the Devils would have looked to do if they could get things right on that first kick-off. But good catch, good carry, and really nice kick to touch.
5 minutes gone. Devils ball. Rain coming down here, as you can probably hear. Usually a sure sign that rugby season started. Challenge in the air by Iberians, but good ball. Devils with some field position. Oh, but the turnover from Iberians, as ferocious in defence as they have been in attack.
Yeah, fantastic turnover there. No, just what your back rowers are going to be looking to do off first phase is slow that ball down and get hands on the ball. And you could see the two arriving players from the Devils there unable to remove the Iberians player. Really, really good turnover. And again, all these little things adding up and that momentum starting to build in favour of Iberians early on in this game.
And look how well they've worked their way up the pitch. Good exit set, win the penalty, and now they're knocking on the door again. It's efficient rugby from Iberians. And now another chance for Mehimole, already a try scorer, to build some more momentum, some more field position. And he does, finds his man, Valentin Bustos. And they go for the catch and drive again. Making early momentum, but Devils stem it the first time, but Iberians back into the 22. Real dominance up front. Still going. Eventually to the floor, but illegally. And now they've got a free shot at it on the advantage. Oh, ball out wide to John Bell. Oh, there could be more trouble here for the Devils. It's a deliberate knock-on.
Seems a legitimate attempt to go for the ball with two hands underneath. We go back to the penalty. Thank you, we go back to the penalty.
Yes.
Good ARing.
I think so, you know. Two penalties there, obviously, within quick succession, and I think, you know, that Iberians maul really starting to build up a head of steam and just being collapsed, pulled down by the Devils there, so we'll go back for the first penalty.
Well, they're going to kick it to the corner, and I'm not going to give you many guesses about what's probably about to come here from Iberians.
Yeah, I wonder what's coming.
Pablo Mehimole is licking his lips, but the first thing he needs to do is find his jumper. And he does. Victor Sanchez is the target. Oh, but they've transferred it and blown the opportunity.
Yeah, that's not ideal. They'll be disappointed with that, such a simple little error. And, the Devils will be happy to get out of this without conceding a try. It's, they should have really converted that. I think the two previous mauls been really successful. It was a chance for them to get on the scoreboard again. But, Devils will be pleased with that.
Small wins. Approaching 8 minutes. Our first look at the set scrum. And a change in the front row as well. Aston Nieuwenhoven's come on. We're in number 17.
Up we go. Both sides, number 2. Break foot, please. Both sides, break foot.
Absolutely gargantuan front row for Iberians. Gerardo and Blanco, the two props. Huge human beings.
Yeah, Gerardo had a fantastic Super Cup season last year, very dominant in the scrum and really, really good when he got his hands on the ball too. So he's going to be a big player for Iberians today.
Oh, and the squeeze comes on immediately. Desperate legs trying to hook the ball back for Devils, but Iberians win the scrum, and that is ominous.
That's a massive scrum. That's a statement right there. You can see how excited the Iberians forward pack are off the back of that dominance. This is going to be a big area of the game, and it's never ideal when you get off to a start like that. The referee is going to start favouring one side, the dominant side, so the Devils are going to have to tighten things up there and make sure they strengthen their scrum moving forward in this game.
Back to the corner we go. Another good line-out ball. Legal this time. Starts to go forward. Mihimole. Over they go. Oh no, they've done it again. They've detached. Oh, Iberians, their own worst enemy. And it's starting to boil over.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate mistake to make there. The referee's obviously seen the dominance here that the Iberians have moving forward. But I think he's called just detached from ball carriers, just detached from the players in front. So, yeah, that's a bad mistake to make, especially off the back of how dominant they are moving forward.
Well, the score remains Devils 0, Iberians 7. And goodness knows how, because Iberians have blown these opportunities. When you're this dominant, I suppose as a coach, all you want is for your team to be clinical, because there are going to come times where you're in a 50-50 game and you need to take every opportunity. Today might not be that day. So Devils with the ball just outside their own 22. Tom Koku under pressure. Well, there's decent length on the clearance, but it just invites Iberians to come forward again. Fancy footwork from Castiglione. Takes them back up to the 10. Then they work that short side. Sasha Casanas. Oh, been turned over. Lovely bit of poaching. And penalty advantage. Much better hustle around the breakdown for the Devils.
Really nice, good kick chase off the back of that kick, getting up to around the halfway line. And then on that second phase attack from Iberians, really good jackal from the Devils to get that turnover. And now they're going to work their way into Iberians' half and try and build some pressure.
And the kick takes them to just outside the 22 as well. First opportunity. Can they take advantage of it? Oh, it's been overthrown and pushed back to Iberians. They made a bit of a mess of it. Conditions getting on top of the teams out here. Knock on spotted, but from what we saw in the 22 a couple of minutes ago, a scrum down is the last thing that Brussels Devils want right now.
Yeah, there's going to be a bit of pressure coming on here, I think. They'll be hoping they can get the ball in and out, but yeah, just an overthrow there from the Devils. And, they're going to have to make sure that they tighten things up around set piece so that when they do get these opportunities to attack, they can capitalise and come away with some points.
And it comes from Koku, and in comes the shove from Iberians. Oh, against the head. Kurt Tafuga was away. But we'll reset.
Yeah, I think the referee is going to be certainly looking for an early push or, sort of chasing around the corner and not pushing straight from the front rows here. So he's probably going to try and look for ways in which he can balance this out. It's a very, very dominant scrum here from Iberians. They're moving forward almost straight off the bat.
I mean, you've spent plenty of time with the number 8 on your back. This is the dream if you're the Iberians 8 here, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when you get to 5 metres out from opposition line. Yeah. If you can have a really dominant scrum, you're talking scrum time. But, when you flip that around, on the opposite side of the coin, when your scrum's under pressure, it's very, very difficult to control that ball at the back. And we can see here Devils. That ball's coming out, but very difficult to control. But again, the penalty will go to Devils, so it'll be interesting to see what they do here.
What would you do?
I think I would get some points on the board, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. Just to sort of settle into the game a little bit. They've been under pressure a lot. There's probably been 3 try-scoring opportunities from Iberians, 2 of which have been missed. I think get some points on the board and hopefully just settle everybody into the game a little bit.
Spent a bit of time in the Iberians' red zone, have Devils. And they don't want to come away empty-handed. First opportunity at points. The flags go up. And Devils are off the mark. Brussels Devils 3, Iberians 7. A decent kick. And you're right, it was important they came away with something there.
Yeah, I think so. This is the first time in the game they've been really into the Iberians' half and overthrew that line out, and we're under pressure a bit in the scrum there. So, if they were going to look to go back to set piece, they were probably going to be under pressure. So good that they could capitalise and come out of that opportunity with some points.
Again, Devils struggling with the restart. Knocking on that time.
Yeah,
Iberians with the chance to...
Just struggling to gather those kickoffs, the Devils. Just a little knock on there, and I think the previous kickoff, just a fumble, and then Iberians reacting well to dive on that ball. So, yeah, this is a really important area of the game, and if you can't exit and get out of your own half when you're under pressure, you're going to end up giving the opposition opportunity within your half, and giving away opportunities at set piece is going to be crucial to staying in this game.
And it comes from Facundo Manila. And it starts to creep forward. Tafuga gets his hands on it. That was Miguel Lines in off his wing. Oh, beautiful ball to pick out Tafuga. Great hands from the back row. And they're back into the 22. Is there space out wide? Oh, the pick up on the right hand. Ball's gone forward. Knock on advantage.
Hold up, is there more than this in the penalty? Penalty only, okay. You've slipped up, it's a penalty, be careful. Penalty, slipped up. Away? Yeah, I would take time off.
Another journey into the 22 yields no points for Iberians.
Yes, they're going to be disappointed with that. I think when you look at the speed of the ruck that the Iberians are managing to create here, to not capitalise off the back of that with probably what was a a 3v2 or a 4v3 there, just attacking down the sideline. They're going to be disappointed with that, and then just a little bit ill-disciplined to slide up, and I think it was a high tackle. The ref called the penalty for.
Well, he did say, didn't he? You've slipped. It's just a penalty. But the conditions far from ideal out there. And it's been reflected in some of the handling. Seen a few knock-ons. That ball went loose. And the wind's starting to pick up as well when you look at the AR's flags as they're going up. Not a brilliant clearance from that penalty, it must be said.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a miss kick. The ball sort of come off the side of the foot, and obviously didn't make as much distance as they would like.
Neuvenhove finds his man this time. Good exit required here from Brussels Devils. And that's a decent carry from Karel de Pijper. Oh, but then the turnover comes in.
Number 6.
Sasha Yoko in at the side. Now, 3 easy points coming up here. I wonder if Iberians will steady the ship or if they'll continue with how they've gone.
I think they should go to the corner. They've got a massive momentum going here with this drive, and interesting to see Iberians are competing really hard at the ruck. They're making sure that they try and get a Jacqueline player over that ball as much as possible, and that's going to prove difficult for Devils to get any momentum, and they're going to make sure they have to be accurate with their clear-outs, which they've not been particularly so far in this game.
Come in and form, please.
We're 18 minutes into the game. Pablo Mijimole could have already had a hat-trick, alas. The first one went over after 3 minutes.
He's going to be looking to get his hands on that ball as much as possible today. If this maul keeps going like it has, then it could potentially be 3 or 4 tries on the score sheet for him today.
Well, here he comes. Florent Quintan has done a great job to get himself out of there, but I think it's going to cost his team 5 points. They're over the line, the ball's down. That is a second try for Mijimole. Could have been 4, but he'll be happy enough with 2. It's Iberians 12, Brussels 3.
Yeah, he'll be looking for that hat-trick now that he's got his second. Lots of opportunities coming his way so far in this game, and good to see the Iberians been able to get a score off the back of a lot of pressure that's been built here at set piece and in the driving maul.
Just before that, did you see Florent Quintin, the second rower for Brussels Devils, exit from that maul? He was on his back and somehow he's managed to crawl out. It was absolutely fantastic. Just highly entertaining
nice little bit
stuff.
of skill.
Yeah,
I love when you see something
back.
like that. Yeah, really funny. Crawling out there, making sure he doesn't get stood on.
Taibo, 2 from 2 for him. 14-3, the rain teeming down now. But he's probably not quite old enough to remember the glory days of rucking. But if you found yourself on the floor back then, you'd have got the delicious taste of rugby boots. So he got himself out of that scenario. But Devils are under the pump once again. 14-3. Decent take going backwards. And Facundo Munilla puts a good boot on it. Now, these conditions, they've really taken a turn. It was drizzling at the start. It is hosing it down now. If you're the team who are behind in the game, how can you use these kind of conditions to your advantage?
I think it's really important that you play in the right areas of the field. You know, you ideally don't want to play that much rugby because the team that are holding the ball when it's wet and when the ball's moving around with the wind, it's very, very difficult to try and control that. So you're almost better just defending. And I think we'll see quite a lot of kicking in this game today.
Roman Pinte gets his head down, but there are the conditions again. It was scruffy from the line out, and then scruffy when the ball goes to ground. And we'll get back underway with a set scrum.
Yeah, very difficult to control the ball in contact when it's wet like this. You know, you can see it just coming loose there when people start tackling and banging into you. It almost turns into a sort of bar of soap and very tough to hold on to. So that's going to be important when teams get a sniff in the opposition 22-metre line and they start to build those phases, they're going to have to hold on to ball, because it's very difficult to move the ball around with wide passes. It's going to be very direct, I think, when teams are attacking.
Devils have found themselves here before, picked up a scrum penalty last time, and it yielded the 3 points that they currently have on the board. More solid scrum this time. Tafuga up the blind side, hacked clear by Munilla.
What is it? Late tackle here. Okay. So you have an option, captain. Late tackle. Penalty here, or where the ball landed on the 15. Yeah. Number. Late tackle. Number 11. Number 11. Late tackle.
Hugo Rouet, the guilty party, a late tackle.
Here, please.
When you are behind in the game and you've got a decent bit of field position, discipline, so important.
Okay.
Absolutely. You know, those sort of mistakes and bits of ill discipline are going to be massive today. You look at that for a gain. Iberians marching them down the field there from what was an exit from probably 10 metres out from their try line, and now they're 15, maybe just outside the 22-metre line for an attacking line out.
Come off. Shoot.
As the rain continues to fall. Ha! The old front rower doing up the shoelaces trick. Now, was that a little bit of a way of refilling the lungs, or do you think it's legit?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a lot of that as the game goes on today. Being the first round in this competition, I'm sure there will be a few guys struggling out there today.
Casanas off the top, and then Rascon. Good carry from the outside centre. This time they go open. Mijimole. Oh, out of the back here now to John Bell. That step inside sells a few defenders. Oh, Devils have squeezed the ball through, but they're under massive pressure. Pasgrat, the captain. Huge credit for them trying to run it out of their own 22, and the tight head. Sorry, the loose head, Fadar, takes a good carry. Now this has been interesting to watch with the kicks, because Iberians have been keen to kick it off the pitch. Devils have been keen to keep it on.
Onside.
Slow ball, so Koku goes to the skies. Not an easy take. And Iberians throwing these balls in their own half. Oh, lovely basketball pass over the top. They are not letting the conditions put them off playing here, Iberians. Put the scoreboard on their side and they're full of confidence. Munilla pushes Tafuga away. Slow ball, so this is going to go skywards as well. Oh, Bell's underneath him. Takes a hit to the face. Tom Bowden. Oh, big shot there from the scrum half after Bowden did well, and the ball comes free. Taibo. 4 points to his name, both conversions so far. And now Iberians start to build again. There are a few tired-looking Brussels defenders on this near side. Bustos. Lyons does well to stay in field. Now Santa gets the offload away. Devils making tired tackles. Feels like a matter of time for Iberians. But the hands let them down. But just going back to the Devils defenders, there are some hands on hips. Some tired boys out there. They're going through a lot of hard work.
Yeah, that was a long phase of play there. A bit back and forth from both teams. I think when Iberians kicked that ball up, Devils managed to catch it, but just looked really kind of frantic, playing off that with the scrum half picking and sort of carrying round the side of the ruck there, and then losing that. So, you know, I think they're going to have to settle themselves, and when they do catch those kicks, get set and either obviously kick it back and chase hard, or try and get set into some shape so that they can capitalise attacking from that turnover ball, counter-attack ball.
Oh, good pressure from the scrum half. The ball's gone backwards, but Devils straight back on the back foot, and Iberians pouring forward. They pick the ball off. Taibo, ball out wide to Castiglione. Oh, and he's touching goal. It's another chance gone for Iberians. That is sensational defense from Devils.
Really
Oh my.
good work. Really, really good work. Good hustle and defence. You know, I think the defender had no right to make that tackle there, but he's done well using the sideline, dragging the Iberians player out. Really nice work.
Pavel Bastoshevitsky has made a sensational tackle. And you have to credit Brussels Devils because they've been the second best team in this game so far. But in terms of small wins, they've picked up so many positives as Castiglione receives that kick, and he'll be kicking himself for not getting the meat pie.
Yeah, I think so. You know, Devils are scrambling really well. They're doing everything they can to try and stop momentum, albeit probably conceding a lot of yards in attack and struggling to win that gain line battle. But they're putting themselves in the right places when it matters, and there's probably been 3 or 4 missed opportunities in this game from Iberians due to just scramble and hard work.
Well, Baltasar Taibo thought about going himself, but then saw Castiglione in acres of space, the captain. Thought he'd put him in, but Pavel Bastoshevitsky. Cometh the hour. What a moment for him. But the replacement hooker, Juvenhova, obviously not straight. And Facundo Manila opts for the scrum, and I'm not surprised. Great platform.
I think so. Very difficult place to throw to the back of the line out there. Good pressure from Iberians, but with these weather conditions, with the wet ball, it's very difficult to hit your target at the tail of the line out. So Devils might want to look at another option there when they get their next line out.
Well, both teams still trying to play, but they deserve a huge amount of credit for, especially in these conditions. Facundo Manila. In it comes, solid from Iberians once more, but Kirk Tafuga gets himself in a spot to bother. There are feet and bodies and limbs everywhere at that breakdown. And Manila sends the big men into battle once more. Tafuga wins the collision. Oh, it looked like they were going to go for the box kick there, but instead they spread it all the way out to the right-hand side. Excellent carry from Miguel Lanz. Oh, it's been knocked on. Lucas Santa.
Yeah, you can see the Iberians there shaping up to kick that ball there, and obviously faking that and looking to spin the ball wide. But I guess that's the battle when you're playing in conditions like we have here today. You know, if you're going to run that ball and pass and look to carry it, you just do have that risk of knocking it on, and they'll be a little bit disappointed with that, I think.
Well, after a sharp start where Iberians absolutely poured forward, it's been the rain that's poured. And as a result, both teams have just struggled to get a grip on this game, which, to be honest, turning it into a midfield battle, that's probably suited Brussels Devils to just get a bit more of an even keel in this game.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of mistakes made, predominantly, I think, by Iberians because they've probably had the majority of the ball. But yeah, I mean, when you play in these kind of conditions, and I think also on the AstroTurf field, the ball does tend to get very, very slippy. So, you know, I think in terms of keeping hold of it, it's very difficult to do. So we're probably going to see a lot of mistakes this afternoon, but it's whoever can take their opportunities, and I think the gain line, that battle of the physicality, is going to play a huge part. We can see that maul for Iberians, and often when they can keep hold of the ball when they're in their attacking shape, they're making some really good meters.
Oh, a little juggle there from Tom Cocu. The pressure comes on from Iberians. The ball squirts out the back, but it is with Devils, and a better contact this time. Trying to split the men at the back, and John Bell takes it inside his own 22. Decent kick from Bell, forces the knock on. And he is the first man there, like a painter and decorator, to admire his good work.
Yeah, very unfortunate knock on there by the Devils. Really nice kick. Some really good long kicking that we're seeing here today. A lot of the kickers in both teams, I think, have got the ability to kick the ball long, so I think they should probably utilise that as much as they possibly can. With a wet ball, that proving very difficult to make that catch.
Tactics have been interesting too, haven't they? Devils always keeping the ball on the pitch in open play. And that time it's cost them, because Bell has kicked them into a great position. A lot of width to work with here now. So Facundo Manila off a solid scrum. Sends it out to the outside half, and now John Bell gets that drift on the outside. Beautiful footwork from John Bell, and that will be the third Iberians try.
Really nice try there. John Bell, just lovely little bit of footwork to get on the outside of the defender there, and he let the pass do the work. Just that little bit of lateral movement, making it hard to make that tackle, and showing a little turn of pace there to run that in there. He'll be pleased with that one.
Yeah, he's timed that really well, and a couple of times players have threatened to do that, and this time he took no risks whatsoever. That little drift just when he received that pass. Great awareness of the space.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult to defend, especially in that position at 13, where there's so many variables as to what could happen. And those little things, like just little bits of extra movement, whether it's coming back inside or outside, just when the defender takes his eye off you, makes it very hard for him to adjust. And they'll be really pleased with that try there. Looking to move the ball wide, interestingly. It's obviously wet, and you've seen a direct game from Iberians, but good to see them getting a bit of change out of moving the ball wide.
3 out of 3 for Taibo. And a little bit of poetic justice with John Bell getting that try as well, because of course it was his kick that led to the knock on. And then the first phase. That's something you don't always see. It's Taibo who's getting lifted. The inside centre getting ready to receive the kickoff. Got to have a full court game these days.
I know, that's the thing, you see sometimes even backs coming into lineouts and jumping. It's a multi-skilled game, especially these centres, modern day centres, are just very athletic. They seem to be able to do everything.
Well, there was a fabulous turnover. And Devils wanting to go quickly. Oh, they've knocked it on. One pass too many. Basil Poupard not expecting that. And then Iberians, well, they've hacked the ball forward, but we're going to go back for the forward pass.
A few little knock-ons coming in from Devils when they get hold of that ball. If they want to take their opportunities, once they get into good field position, going to have to keep hold of it. Just a little bit loose in the carry.
Some of those spectators have managed to stay dry, some of them less so, as we take a look at the third conversion. Lovely strike. Beautiful surroundings here as well. A lovely ground that Brussels Devils are going to call home this season.
He says in the bind he's going to pull a little bit.
He has to have weight on it, let's go.
Dice que tiene que tener todo el peso en el pie.
Five minutes till half time. Iberians inside their own 22. Kafuga got the short side. And the scrum half running himself into a bit of trouble.
Stop in front, bring him on, please.
Another decent clearance kick straight off. And I think that's a big sign of confidence from Iberians, isn't it? Clear the ball out, know that Devils are going to come with the line out, but confident enough that they can defend that.
Yeah, I think the Iberians have definitely got a clear plan of how they want to get the ball out of their own half. I think they've exited really well and they've kicked really well too. So they're obviously confident, giving the Devils a line out, and they back their defence, or back the line out defence to get up and challenge Devils.
So can Devils get some more points on the board before half-time? Oh, the line-out just hasn't clicked. I mean, that's been hacked forward. So once again, Iberians have got the ball in the right part of the pitch. There's a knock-on. Where's this going to bounce? Race for the line. Oh, Devils just about get it back. But then it's gone loose. And there's another try for Iberians. Chaos from the Devils in defence. I think Taibo's got the last touch. He's going to add to his points tally. And it goes from bad to worse for Devils. Iberians over for the fourth time.
Yeah, I think that's as strange as a try that you'll ever see in a game of rugby. Obviously, a missed offload pass that went to floor, and then a huge kick through that's been charged down. And if you look at the urgency of the chase from Iberians there was 3 or 4 players around that ball as it bobbled into the goal area. And that's what happens when you make that effort and you worked on that chase to get in there behind the ball. You know, if the ball bounces the wrong way, your chance are you're going to actually get to touch it down. So I think that came off some hard work from that chase.
And once again, it comes directly off the back of having a good exit strategy. It was a minute ago. They were inside their own 22.
Yeah, it's the simple things done well when we have bad conditions like this. Nice execution.
Oh, this time it's Devils putting some pressure on the restart. Chaos. Absolute chaos. Just what you'd expect for a first game of the season.
No, that's very true. Often both teams are playing their first game, and sometimes it can be a new shape with a new coach, new ideas. Often it takes 2 or 3 games to sort of settle into a season and build that confidence in terms of what you're trying to do. But we also have the other aspect of the weather here today, which is wet and a little bit of wind too, which is making it difficult for players to execute skills, and we're seeing a lot of kicking, which is making for a lot of back and forth as well.
Well, approaching the final minute before half-time. The rain has temporarily eased off, and as you can see in the crowd, now they've got their sunglasses on. Hopefully he gets to get warm and dry at half-time. So now Iberians lining up as if they might have a little pop at something here. And why not? They're 4 tries to the good. Oh, Devils had crept up a bit there. Suggestion of offside, but referee happy enough to let play go. Munilla. Great distance on the box kick, and that's another fantastic exit.
That's a really nice kick, good box kick, getting up towards the halfway line. They'll be pleased with that. Not long to go before half-time, but the Devils will be looking to get some more points on the board before they go in and reassess at half-time.
Nieuwenhoven, the replacement hooker, came on early for Benjamin Kleiss. The Iberians doing a really good job of disrupting the line out. And that one, a much cleaner take. Now, can they mount a decent attack before half-time? Good lift, good tackle by Pablo Rascon. He manages to slow things down. Not a lot of space here for Devils to work with, so Tom Koku tucks and goes himself. Devils without a scrum half, so the big men take it up to the 10.
You're on the body first. You're on the body first.
Hit him without wrapping.
Penalties mounting up.
You're the penalty.
Yeah, I think the Iberians player just didn't release there in that tackle.
Yes, it would be
Just have to show a little bit of daylight there if you want to have success with that.
They're going to go for the corner. They're going to have some territory. And Brussels Devils are going to have one last opportunity to get over the whitewash before half-time. They've done a lot of defending. They've had a lot of individual moments, but they've not really threatened the try line of Iberians, and that's been knocked on by Iberians. We're going to need to be organised in defence here. Into the 22 go Brussels Devils. Iberians do look organised in defence. They've not had to do a huge amount in this part of the field. The Brussels Devils with some big men keen for collisions. Now it comes wide. Bastosiewicz gets swallowed up by the scrum half Munilla. Oh, Koku just cannot get quick ball. So it's going to be hard graft and grind from the front row again. Picked up off the bootstraps by Dikin. And then smashed into touch by Mejimole. And that takes us to half-time. 4 tries for Iberians. 2 for Pablo Mejimole. 1 for John Bell. A beautiful finish. Then a bizarre try for Baltazar Taibo. He's got 13 points when you add up the 4 conversions as well. Hugo de Franck with the 1 penalty. The only points on the board for Brussels Devils. An Iberian season on the road has got off to a great start. They lead by 28 points to 3. Adam, your thoughts? Plenty to digest there with this season underway.
Absolutely. I think that good to see the Devils building some phases there towards the end of that second half. I think the thing that they were struggling with there was just to get that speed of ball at the ruck, that quick ball. The rucks are very slow, which meant that the Iberians' defence could build that wall and set their defence. So, you know, as we said throughout the half, a game that was very back and forth. I think the Iberians had a lot of opportunities to score, and, you know, they're probably going to go in at half-time and say, well, we could have come out of that first half with more points, but it is what it is. They've still scored plenty of points in this first half, and I think the Devils are they're going to be sort of looking at themselves, and they just need to get the keys right in this second half with their exit. They need to make sure they work their way down the field, don't play in the wrong areas, and when they get the chance to attack, they want to keep hold of that ball and try and speed up the ruck a little bit so they can put those faster players away on the edge.
Brussels with some work to do. Iberians already focusing on an opening day victory. We'll be back with the second half. It's Devils 3, Iberians 28. Rugby Europe Super Cup 2022 is officially underway. Great to have your company wherever you are watching around the world. It's a busy weekend. We're already halfway through this one, but there's a game kicking off later on. We've got the Wolves against Tel Aviv Heat, and then we have got the Georgian Derby tomorrow. That is not to be missed, as well as Delta v Lusitanos. All live on rugbyeurope.tv. Very much looking forward to your company for those games and all of the games throughout the season. We have also lucky to have the company of Adam Ash as well. He's been alongside me throughout this first half. A first half where, let's be honest, some of it was for the purists, wasn't it? When the rain came down, it was hard work out there for the players, but it was the Iberians who responded the best, and they've got 4 tries on the board.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of mistakes from both teams, and probably both teams struggling to convert pressure into tries. You obviously look at the score at half-time here, and you would think the Iberians did take their opportunities, but they probably still left 3 or 4 out there. And, I think the one thing that's helping them is they've got a real dominance at the set piece, scrum and line-out maul especially. And when they have that ball in hand, they seem to be getting over the advantage line and are able to create that quick ball. The Devils, on the other hand, I think struggled a bit to exit. They've struggled to keep hold of the ball. I think maybe looked a little bit frantic at times. And moving into this second half, they're going to look to, I think, play in the right areas of the field, and they're going to have to stop the set piece, especially scrum and line out attack from the Iberians. That's going to be a huge part of hopefully not conceding as many points in the second half.
Well, we've had plenty of changeable conditions. We've had sunshine, we've had rain, we even saw some Brussels supporters there using the Belgian flag as a blanket to try and stay warm. Yeah, wave at the camera. Great to have you here. Read your book, but put it down when the second half kicks off. The rugby's great. We've got news of a replacement. You talked about how well the set piece has been going for Iberians, and it has. The scrum has been dominant. They've managed to spoil the Devils' line-out as well. But on the tight head side, Alberto Blanco coming off, Andres Alvarado coming on, and he is another big slab of a man. It's not going to get any easier at scrum time for the Devils, is it?
No, and I think, Iberians will have looked at that first half and will be very, very happy with how their scrums went. And, maybe this is an opportunity to bring on the replacement and sort of see how he fares. But when you bring fresh legs on at half-time, you would like to think that the Devils are going to have to deal with that. And I'm sure props talking to each other in the changing room at half-time, talking about the little details, maybe the things in which they believed got them that dominance. So I'm sure those messages have been passed on, and Iberians are going to want to continue that dominance moving into the second half.
That looks delicious. Where do I get one of those? That looks like a lot of tasty meat in white bread. That is right up my street. But great to have the supporters here. Look, this is a game that has taken you around the world, and you've played at an incredibly high level in some great leagues. This is certainly a competition that is going in the right direction, and to bring elite level rugby to European nations, to emerging nations, to people who want to play the game and to people who want to watch the game, we're in a good spot, aren't we?
I absolutely think so. I think what was really, really good to see in last season's Super Cup, where it was really how the teams developed as the competition went on. And a team like Brussels Devils would have gained a lot from the exposure playing against these teams, like Iberians, like the Lusitanos, like Black Lion, teams that are littered with international players and people that have maybe been playing at that higher level of rugby. So I think this competition's huge. I think there's a lot of scope for growing it, and it's great to see a new team coming in this season as well. I think it's really, really exciting, and I think there's a massive future for all of these teams and also this competition.
Well, by watching this, if it's your first time, you're officially on the journey now, and it's great to have you on board. All of the games are available on Rugby Europe TV as the teams make their way out for the second half. Now, if we're realistic about this, in terms of a positive result, the game is probably gone for Brussels Devils. So what would you like to see from them in the second half that they can build on for the rest of the season?
I would like to see them dealing with the Iberians' line-out maul attack a little bit better. So I'd like to see the line-out D improve. I would also like to see. I'd like to see them score some tries. You know, whether they can sort of string together a few phases. They've probably struggled to get that quick ball in attack. So if they can work on that and they can get some quick phases, I'd like to see what they have out wide. We probably haven't seen much of that yet.
And what about Iberians? A bit more clinical?
Yeah, definitely more clinical. If they get it right in this second half, I think they'll have the opportunity to potentially score 4 or 5 tries.
Henri Dequesne puts his right foot through the ball. The second half is underway. Iberians get their hands on the ball, and that's a good take. Both teams really struggled with the restart in the first half, so that is a real nerve settler for Iberians. 4 tries to the good. But if you're just tuning in, Pablo Mijimole, the hooker, how he's not got a hat-trick is anybody's guess. Good take there by Hugo de Franck, the fullback. And an early kick from Tom Cocu. Taken right on the touchline. Oh, and a knock-on from Iberians. Kirk to Fuga. Thinking about the carry before he'd made the catch.
I think that was a really, really nice kick from Devils. Iberians then passing it in field and making that knock-on. You know, I think it's an example of a really good decision to kick that ball. The Devils might have looked to run that from the midfield, but they've got a lot of change out of that, and here they are just outside the 22 with an attacking scrum. Great start.
First scrum then for Andres Alvarado. Big tight head. Going up against Brandon Fadar. Oh, they wanted the ball quickly up the blind side. An attempt at the nudge in behind. Now we could have another foot race. Big chase coming on here by Iberians, and Devils back in their own 22, but who's got their hands on the ball? Oh, it's come back Iberians' way. And they've shifted it on. Is there space on the outside? Oh, lovely delayed pass. Taibo. Ball's gone backwards. Play on Miguel Lyons. And just like in the first half, Iberians knocking on the door early in the second. There's Lucas Santa. Takes them to within 5 meters. Hands could do it here. Oh, brilliant cover tackle again. Rablo Rascon trying to play the ball to himself. Well, that's the second time in the match a Devils back has pulled off a fantastic try-saving tackle.
Really nice tackle and really good jackal as well. You know, I think getting really isolated there in the wide channels, Iberians, and really nice to spot that opportunity to get that turnover. I think it was Hugo Ruel with that really nice bit of play and saving his team from conceding a try at the early stages in his second half.
Another gilt-edged chance goes begging for Iberians. Look for all the world like Rablo Rascon was going in. Rain teeming down. We had brief respite. Better line out from Devils. Under duress as well. Iberians have thrown someone up to compete most of the time, particularly in this part of the pitch as well.
Yes, inside.
Tom Cocu asking if it's inside. Does that mean we're going to see a change of tact where he's actually going to kick for touch? Oh, it wasn't a clean strike at all. Now it's back with Iberians. Picked up off the toes by Castiglione. And then John Bell skips out of one, skips out of 2 tackles and slings one out of the back door. The crossfield. A good mark claimed. A bit too deep for Hugo de Franck. Just relieves the pressure.
Yeah, interesting option to go for that crossfield kick there. With no winger chasing and a player back to receive that kick, probably wasn't the best option.
The change in the backs for Brussels Devil as well. Ryan Leduc has come on into the back 3. The Iberians pour into the 22 through Valentin Bustos.
Tackle too slow.
Lovely dart by Zabalegi.
Keep on up.
Castiglione chips over. Oh, it's well taken on the bounce, but the offload goes to Rayan Leduc.
Yeah, I think we're getting really creative in terms of how they're trying to score tries here, Iberians, with the crossfield, and then that interesting little dink there over the top that was almost in between a kick pass and a crossfield kick. But yeah, it wasn't far off, coming off with that pass from back in the inside there.
There is Rayan Leduc. He's come on for Hugo Rouet. So like-for-like replacement on the left wing.
Step off, please. That's the gap.
Iberians in familiar territory. That's taken by big Victor Sanchez. Now Mejimole in search of that hat-trick. He's had a few cracks at it, but surely it's coming now. It is a hat-trick, an opening day hat-trick for Pablo Mejimole. All of them have been carbon copies. So well executed this time from Iberians, and they strike first in the second half.
Really good to see the hat-trick there. I think very, very difficult to stop. Iberians have clearly been working on this area of their game in the pre-season. Forward pack very, very dominant. It can be really demoralising as a defensive team, you know, when you get 3 drive and maul tries scored against you. So that's going to be difficult to take for the Devils. It's definitely going to be a key work on going out of this game today.
5 tries. Will it be 5 conversions? Baltasar Taibo can take his personal tally up to 15 points. And does. He has been flawless with the boot. 35-3 Iberians lead. And when the maul's working like that, as a defensive team, you're pretty helpless, aren't you?
Yeah, you are. You know, it's clear that Devils don't really have much of a strategy in there. It's maybe an area of the game that they haven't managed to put too much time into in this pre-season period. But you know, we've all seen this happen many a times before at different levels of competition. Sometimes you just don't find the time to put the effort and energy and attention into certain areas of the game, and this is definitely a huge work on for them coming out of this game. I'm sure they'll prove massively for next week.
Just hold Adrian.
Line out on the 10. Not straight for the second time.
It's too far over here.
Struggling a little bit at set piece with an overthrow and a couple of squint throws for the Devils.
Well, the replacements coming thick and fast now. We already had Blanco off. There goes Jurado. He's going to be replaced by Raul Calzon. So 2 new props on for Iberians.
Time is back on.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Matthew Smith wants to get on soon, because he's the hooker, and Mejimole's got 3 tries. He's going to want to get his name on the score sheet as well. As we spoke earlier about how great it is to be a number 8 at the back of a dominant scrum, but to be a hooker at the back of a dominant drive-in maul is probably even better.
Definitely.
It doesn't quite come off for Iberians, but they'll get the chance to rebuild. Castiglione comes in field, gets rid of a few defenders, and then bumps the man off, bumps the back rower off as well. Wingers backing off Oh, lovely ball. Iberians purring, and now John Bell up to the 22. There's a man outside him, and that is a fabulous try. The try of the match so far. Valentin Bustos touches the ball down. Iberians pretty much going the length and showing that they've got the brains as well as the brawn.
Good support from Bustos there. Lovely drawn pass from John Bell as well. Really, really clinical stuff. Basics done well, and good to see a try from a little bit further out, longer length, some running rugby. Lovely inside ball there to Bell, and if you can see here, just runs at the last defender, draws him in, and really accurate pass. Lovely stuff.
Well, they've been trying to play the entire game, haven't they, Iberians, as Taibo continues his 100% record from the tee. And the conditions, well, they led to knock-ons. They really spoiled the kind of rugby they were trying to play. They built a platform off the back of this dominant forward pack, but now, with tired Devils defenders, the wind in their sails, they're just going to keep on trying to play. This could become a long afternoon for the Brussels Devils.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, you know, interestingly, just in the second half, the Devils scrum has started to be a little bit more dominant. That ball, the last scrum there, was an Iberians ball, but the Devils were creeping forward, and similarly on that previous scrum, they got a little bit of ascendancy. So they'll be happy with the way that's going. But as you say, that they're going to have to prevent these tries and sort of organise their defence as it dries up a little bit. There's a little bit more running rugby, and passes are beginning to stick, which is favouring Iberians here.
Well, this will be an interesting phase in the game because both teams are starting to make replacements. I think now the result is all but certain. This is a chance for coaches to look at some players and some combinations. And I think the key for both teams now is the personnel changes, is to make sure that the rugby doesn't, and that remains the consistent.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's sometimes the risk when making substitutions pretty early on. Sometimes these players don't get the time to rep the plays and rep the structure that you might be trying to implement during the training week. So coaches will be looking to see if these players are able to get the roles right, and if they're able to slot into the squad and still play the rugby they're trying to.
Well, both centres for Iberians slipping off the tackle. And there's an advantage coming here for Brussels Devils as well. First touch for Steph Vermier. He's the replacement scrum half, on for Tom Cocu. He had a bit of tempo, get some zip to this Devils offence. But Iberians are very organised. They're up very quickly in defence.
Yeah, they do. They're trying to get off the line and put pressure on the Devils, and you can see that ball got spun wide there. Defensively, they're sort of ascending, 4 or 5 metres, which is really good. That's a sign of an organised defence that's getting off the line. Devils probably still struggling a little bit to get that speed of ball. If they can get that ruck speed under 3 seconds, they're just going to open up opportunities to be able to attack, and that Iberians defence will be slightly less organised.
So the penalty for offside, kick to touch by Dequin. There was the try score of Valentin Bustos. It's a great support line, a beautiful inside ball to John Bell, who's had another good game. It's not clean ball, but it's Iberians ball. And they have made that change in the front row as well. Matthew Smith is on, we're in 16. So it's an all-new front row now for Iberians. And Nicolas Rosiares. He's on for Manila. Kicks that one deep. Good chase from Bell. Looks to have gone forward, and it's a good take. The second ball by Hugo de Franck. He wants to kick in behind. Gets the first bounce, but then Zabelagui is there to snuff out the danger. Taibo.
Guys, need to stop. We have a head injury, please. Sorry, yes, you have to stop head injury. Thanks, Roland.
Another head injury. They had an early one with Benjamin Kleiss. And hopefully that is not too serious. And he'll be able to continue.
I think really good call from the referee just to call up there. Although the play wasn't too close to the player that was down, you know, it was it's the last thing you want to happen is to have attacking players or defending players falling onto somebody on the ground. It's not going to be ideal, especially if it's a head injury. So good call.
Kirk Tafuga off. Sante Shumburidze on. And this really is the chance for the the coach to have a full look at the squad, isn't it? I mean, he looks relatively compos mentis, but if there is any doubt, then he's got to be hooked, isn't he?
Absolutely, it's one of the things
That might be the case. If we see a shoulder head that's foul play, then clearly we'll do something about it. But if we've not seen it,
Yeah, okay. So, and your line refuses to look?
no.
The tests that are needed to be run.
Well, we wish him all the very best and hope that he's back playing soon. But for now, he is off the pitch. It is a tough old game out there, and the first one of the season as well. Everything's going to hurt, isn't it? Your limbs, your lungs, everything.
Oh, absolutely. The lungs will be feeling it. I'm sure these players that are out there today will be feeling like they're breathing through a straw. Almost like it probably feels as if they're playing at altitude. They'll be struggling to gather their breath. There's no way you can sort of duplicate the effects or create the effects that a game of rugby has. You know, you can train all you want, you can do all the pre-season training, but there's nothing like being out there in an actual 80-minute game of rugby, full contact. It's a different stimulus.
Scrum penalty. Well, of course, now you're in a coaching role, so you've not done the pre-season as a player, and, well, I think it's time to be honest. How much more did you enjoy dishing it out as opposed to taking it this pre-season?
Oh, I'm one of those strange ex-players that still enjoys training hard. Maybe not so much the contact side of the game, but I'll get myself out there and have a run around with the boys. But yeah, it was nice to not have to be able to do that and sort of focus on actually training the players rather than doing the training myself.
I'll remind you of that next time it comes to the Bronco. This is good from Devils, though. Working hard to try and get up to halfway, desperately trying to build a platform. Can they get a 5-pointer? Some crumbs of comfort from this opening fixture. Oh no, they've gifted the ball away, and Bell has picked it up. Lovely inside ball. Rascon. Oh, it's gone forward. And John Bell, he's a live wire, isn't he? Every time he's on the ball, it looks like something could happen.
He is. He seems to have a bit of time on his hands, John Bell. Whenever he gets that ball, he looks like he could create something. I think that was off the back of some nice play from the Devils. A nice little release play off the forward pod, off the touchline. Just struggling to be accurate in the wide channels there. John Bell managing to win that ball back, and fortunately for the Devils, that pass was not very accurate, and they've managed to prevent the try.
Still plenty of time on the clock. 2 tries since half-time. Mijimole, when he picked up his hat-trick try. And then the try of the match so far, Bustos. After John Bell drew the man and he strolled in from 20 metres. That's the try of the game so far. This game's had a little bit of everything so far. Now Iberians coming again. Ball out of the back, Taibo. Then Sian, who's looking for the corner, manages to get the ball away, but it's off a Devil's foot. And out of the back. Lovely little offload around the corner there.
That would have been nice if there was a support player on the inside who could have picked that up. Nicely lifted up. Good speed. Really nice backs play there from Iberians. Just unfortunate with that last pass. It's not going to hand.
Martiniano Fian has come on wearing 23. That was him turboing up the left-hand side. Now Pablo Torres is coming on. Juan Zabalague's races run, so Torres should slot straight in at outside half, or is Taibo going to take a step to the left? Brilliant chance here. Bustos now packing down at 8. Chumburidze has gone onto the blind side flank. And Santa is shifted to the open side. Dominant scrum coming. Oh, it's a flat ball. First touch for Torres is going to result in a try. Pablo Torres on the short ball makes an immediate impact.
Fantastic line, really dominant scrum from Iberians and really nice accurate pass from the base. Torres with a nice strong direct line breaking through 2 tackles and over the line he slides. Really good impact.
Well, what a way to introduce yourself to the game. First touch, first try. 47 points. Wow. This is a real statement from Iberians. They will face sterner tests in this Rugby Europe Super Cup. Baltazar Taibo continues his fine form from the tee. 49-3.
It's been a little bit of a stop-start game in the second half so far. Still seeing some mistakes. A lot of back and forth from both teams here. I think Devils are going to want to keep that ball and build some pressure, and unfortunately just kicking that out of the full.
Compound errors, absolute coach killers as they call them. The Brussels Devils. Look, they've got 20 minutes here. They've got 20 minutes to do something, which is incredibly difficult when you're making mistakes. You're playing against one of the best teams in the competition. But they have to play till the end. And when you consider how many opportunities Iberians have left out there, I mean, they've butchered 2, 3, maybe even 4 really, really good chances.
Yes, I think focus points heading into the last 20 are make sure Devils can win their ball at set piece at the line out at the scrum, and I guess play in the right areas of the field and try and be accurate with the ball in hand.
Bustos, lovely pass off the right hand. He finds Taibo, and Iberians are on the march again, looking for that inside offload.
Just knocked on.
But the ball goes forward. At this stage, though, I'm not sure how bothered the coaches will be with that. I mean, that is an individual error, but when you're coming on and when you're trying to play rugby, sometimes those things happen, as we see. Basile Poupard, he's obviously failed his HIA and will play no further part, so we wish him all the best with his recovery and look forward to seeing him back in white.
Yeah, I think Iberians are starting to sort of push the boat out now in terms of forcing those extra passes that potentially you wouldn't throw at the start of a game, but obviously seeing the score and being up by so many points, I'm sure the coach has probably encouraged them to express themselves, but at the same time won't want to look back at the second half when they do the review on Monday and see too many missed opportunities like we did see in the first half.
Thomas Lurkin coming into the back row for Karel De Pijper. He's had a couple of great turnovers, De Pijper. There's Bowden getting play underway from 8.
Hear that, Maria?
Iberians in search of an opening day half-century.
Bainon, full on, Bainon. Stay behind, Chaser. Use. Leave it go now, Green.
This is Vermier. And that may have gone out behind where he kicked it.
Yeah, I think that's just come off the side of his foot. Bad ball drop, and it hasn't connected with that kick properly, so that's unfortunate.
8 changemen, so you cannot.
Number 19.
Right, so Andres lost a boot. Looks a long way away. I think someone might
You
have
need to go back off,
chucked
please.
it as well.
You've made too many changes.
Oh.
Just wait, please. Just wait, please. Just wait.
They have 8. They have done 8 substitutions.
And he was the 9th.
Yeah.
Okay, so the
because
player who went off doesn't come back on, or we play?
they swapped them.
Swap back on.
Now we can play.
You're happy?
There's only if there is a commotion or block, then
You're happy to play?
yeah.
Okay. Lads, calm down. It's been good all game. Don't start now, please. Thank you. Time is back on.
So Karel de Piper back on. Lurking off because they'd made too many interchanges. Remarkable. Decent line there by Lucas Santa. He's still hungry to get his hands on the ball. Here's Chumburidze. Great strength from him, just getting rid of Brussels Devils. Good quick ball as well. Massive opportunity for Iberians to hit that half century. Going in search of try number 8. Short ball, big men going through Graf. Victor Sanchez was there. Chumburidze goes again. What a powerhouse he looks.
Still playing the advantage.
Now as they space up the short side. Beautiful pass off the left hand. Not quite quick enough. And Thian
That's okay.
Can't
He's
get
playing
there.
legal. We go back for the number 8 not rolling. Number 8 not rolling. Here we are.
Well, again, Devils scrambling wide to prevent the try. They'd already given away the penalty, though.
Scrum call, please.
And Somse Chumburidze, since he's come on, he looks a ball of power.
Chumburidze with that massive ball carry there. Really good job to brush off a couple of defenders. Pure power, really good impact on the game. That's exactly what you want from, you know, your big units, your big forwards that are coming off the bench, bringing that physicality as the game's getting closed out here.
Bustos, the last to join. Keep your eye on Torres. Is he going to go in from short again, or are Iberians going to try and push it over themselves? Penalty advantage from the scrum. Another dominant scrum for Iberians. And it yields a try. It's a second one for Valentin Bustos from much closer range than the first, but that is 50 up for Iberians. We've still got 15 minutes to go.
Well taken from Bustos. Referee calling to play the ball, and he's picked it up and dived over the line. So really good knowledge of the rules and good control at the back of the scrum. It was moving forward a bit of a pace there, so good finish, dotting the ball down with one hand. Nice little bit of skill, he'll be pleased with that.
2 tries for him. An industrious performance from the back rower. And this one a bit more of a challenge for Baltazar Taibo. In fact, it's his first one from this side, isn't it? They've all been over on the other side, hooking in with a right footer. But it looks like you could put him anywhere on the pitch and he'd make it look easy. 8 conversions and 8 tries for Iberians, 56 points. They mean business.
They do, very impressive kicking, 8 tries, dominant forward pack performance, scrum, line out, looking very, very good. And we can see the blue sky here in the background. maybe it's time
What
for
a
this game to
take
open up.
from Bustos. And they're away again. Here's Castiglione. Has to check inside, cuts inside. Bastoshevitsky. And Iberians back into the 22. Oh, it's a good cover tackle. Rossi Arias gets smashed. And Devils win the penalty. But what a take over his head from Bustos from that restart.
That was lovely, really nice bit of skill and breaking away. Nice quick pass after the catch. Really good to see games opening up a little bit.
When they clear the ruck.
You have a penalty. For exactly that, you have the penalty, Robin.
So finally, Brussels with some field position. So what can they do with it? Change in the second row. Sasha Casanas coming off. That's Alvaro Pires coming on. Well, some ball in hand here for Devils. It's been so long. You wonder if they can remember what to do with it. The short side. Pirates grab the cap. Finds some space for Bastoshevitsky. But the touchline never loses a tackle.
Yeah, just looked like that line out there from the Devils. Just a little bit of indecision around what they were trying to do there. Yeah, looks like that's off the Iberians player.
The hair, the long hair.
Nicolas Rosariez getting some attention. The referee and his assistant having a conversation about something. I wonder if there'll be any further action taken. Let's see if we can have a look at what they've seen. In fact, we're going to go and look at this John Bell trying to create that opportunity earlier on that was knocked on in the 22. There must have been a foot in touch before it came off the Iberian. And up goes big Victor Sanchez. And Iberians on the go again. Now that's gone forward. Turnover ball here with Devils on the halfway. Can they take advantage? Big collision in the middle of the park. Oh, another big collision. Wow. That was Santa coming flying out of the line. Sanchez's eyes lit up for a second.
Just that turnover there that the Devils won. I think they want to try and move that ball away from the contact point. I think they caught it and then had the chance to pass, but ended up carrying it into contact. There was a little bit of space on that short side. If they can move that ball quickly, can maybe utilise some of their faster players against that Iberians' unorganised defence.
Scrum time, approaching the final 10 minutes. The result is done and dusted. Iberians off to the perfect start. Of course, their ambition now is to keep Devils scoreless in the second half. The Devils surely need to get a 5-pointer. Need to get some crumbs of comfort beyond a couple of brilliant try-saving tackles. I mean, that was one bounce away from being a sensational 50-22. Pressure on the ball, but Sasha Yoko just about manages to secure it. Shumburidze. He really does look a handful, Shumburidze. Very much looking forward to seeing how his season develops. Oh, now is there contact in mid-air? 3 shrill blasts on the referee's whistle, and that's never usually a good sign.
Iberian's player managed to gather that ball there, but looks like he might have
position to compete for the ball. It's a rugby incident. There we go. Play the scrum then to Green this point. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Tricky one, I guess. Iberian's player who was chasing there probably got a little bit of a fright when Devils player landed right at his chest. Just probably misread that a little bit, but it looked pretty innocent.
Yeah, rugby incident is the call from the referee, and that replay that we saw, probably a sensible decision to be made. Both men challenging for the ball. You can analyse these things, and people usually end up in trouble. However, if you're happy enough that both players...
Yeah, exactly. If it's concussion, but I need to find out. I think it looks more like a back, but I can't tell. Medical? Is it head? No.
Just listening into the referee there.
Okay.
And of course, with Devils having made all of their changes, it has to be a concussion or a head-related injury for him to be replaced. And are they checking some of John Bell's dentistry there? God, it's not going to be an expensive afternoon for him, is it?
Hopefully his teeth are still intact. Hopefully his gum shield saved him, but looks like he took a knock to the jaw.
Well, both men are going to continue. Hugo de Frank gingerly gets back into position. So Alvaro Pires is packing down in the back row. That's moved Lucas Santa up into the engine room. So with this Iberians pack now, nobody is on the pitch. Start in the same position that they started. Completely new pack. A bit scrappy, but that's a smart kick into space. Oh, and then Thomas Bowden just overruns it. Not a huge amount he could do there.
Really nice kick there from Iberians, threading that through. They were a little bit on the back foot, just with a couple of inaccurate passes, but you can see there, ball's been taken into touch by the Devils player, so they'll take that.
Yeah, Bowden, a little bit too big to be tippy-toeing up that touchline.
Go 10, are you 10? Are you receiver? Who's receiver? Can go into 15, please.
Matthew Smith. Oh, has that been dropped? It has. Rosariez got the ball on the bootstraps. He won't thank his forward pack for giving him that.
Those errors are going to be getting a little bit frustrating here from the Iberians team. Really good platform to launch. Not any player up defensively competing for that ball, and just a delivery that was a little bit inaccurate. So we tighten up these areas of the games when they come up against tougher opposition if they want to come out on top.
Steph Vermier, placement scrum half, ball in hand into the last 10 minutes.
You need to keep your foot out front, and I'm not going to ask again, lads. I'd rather you didn't. I'm watching it.
Just if you want.
Thanks for being helpful, but it's okay.
Bajamos. Todos.
Crash! 5! Set! Waiting.
Ball in and out quickly from Brussels Devils, but one pass too many again, and it's gone forward. And they've just not been able to go through any phases and build any momentum. Some of that has come down, of course, to good Iberians' pressure, but a lot of it's just been individual errors.
Just getting a bit flat there from that set-piece attack. Struggling to be accurate with the passes, and if they just take a little bit extra depth there, they just give themselves a bit more time to catch that ball. But the game is very, very stop-start at the moment, often not going above 2-3 phases before a knock-on or ball going into touch. So it's, I think, from the Devils' point of view, if they can work themselves into the right area of the field, and if they can get a try out of today, to finish this game strongly.
Well, they're after a try, but they need to get their hands on the ball first. It's not as quick as Iberians would have liked. They've ended up going down the short side. And Rablo Rascon puts on the afterburners, but this time the touchline beats Iberians. And it's more decent defence from Devils, who, to their credit, and it sounds a strange thing to say given they've conceded 8 tries, they've actually scrambled very well.
They have. They've at times made it difficult for the Iberians team to capitalise on the amount of opportunities that they've had. So I think if you're reviewing your performance on Monday, that's one of the areas that the Devils can look at, and they can say they got that right. They scrambled well, they fought hard for each other, and they made it difficult at times for Iberians to capitalise on their opportunities.
Front man.
Still time for action.
Indeed.
But it's looking more and more like it's going to be in Iberians' colours. That's taken by Bustos at the back. Oh, and this time it's Devils win the penalty, and another gilt-edged chance goes begging for Iberians. What's that? 3 now from the driving line-out?
Yep, I think so. Getting late in the game now, but interesting to see the Devils with a different tactic in terms of what they're doing to defend that driving maul, standing off, and obviously the Iberians forward transferring that ball once they came down from the line-out, which then means obstruction. So, clever bit of play, very risky to do that close to your own line, but it's paid off on this occasion.
5 minutes to go, a little bit of space here. Brussels Devils dart into it, but then the kicks charge down by Castiglione. And so often that happens, you get a bit of space and you think we've got to act immediately. However, Devils have the ball back. Oh, but only temporarily. Oh, play on, says the referee, but that's because Iberians have turned it over. Pace from Ciani, he tries to get around the outside. Another good tackle. In fact, a really good tackle. Rayan Leduc drags his opposite number into touch.
Really good tackle from Leduc. That was your traditional one-on-one tackle with 2 wingers, and really good job to keep a hold of the Iberians attacking player there, trying to get on the outside, lifting that arm up to defend. Nicely done.
More great field position. Plenty of width to work with here for Devils. Oh my goodness me, but not with defence like that. That is a monstrous hit from Shumburidze. He's announced himself on this game. And from having a relatively decent attacking platform, Devils have coughed up the ball and Iberians have turned it over. Andres Alvarado. Mutant strength from the tight head.
Yeah, very, very good strength. And Shumburidze as well with a monster tackle there. Any momentum that the Devils are trying to build has just been opposed by some really good physicality from the Iberians team. And now they'll have a line out again. 5 metres out, chance to get that driving maul going again.
Well, this is an example of some of the kicks that we've seen. I mean, that was lovely work. Rayan Leduc getting in there. They can certainly play these Iberians, boys, and once they've got a lead and they've taken the shackles off, they played some great stuff. Matt Smith, there was a little bit of a delay on that, wasn't it? Never looked clean, never looked like he was fully in control, and we'll have a scrum.
Yeah, unfortunate, just not straight. They'll be disappointed with that. Not much pressure from the Devils. Defensive line out 2 in the air, so those are the throws that you're going to want to make, but yeah, just not quite straight. Another opportunity lost. I think if the Iberians were able to capitalise on all of the opportunities they had today, I think we could have seen probably another 25, 30 points on this score so far.
Almost certainly. But it is going to be a convincing win. Tom Bowden goes from the base of the scrum. He has had a hard 80 minutes, the number 8. Iberians again organised in defence. What's the exit strategy? Oh no. Oh no.
Just looked like an inaccurate pass that sort of scuttled along the floor and has went out into touch behind the dead ball. Just think took his eye off the ball and just missed it. Unfortunate.
Oh. When it's not your day, it's not your day, and it hasn't been Brussels Devils' day. Alas, they'll have opportunities to put it right.
Let's see if Bustos can get in for his hat-trick here.
Well, he might fancy it. In fact, he's got a great chance. Oh, wasn't great footwork, was it?
He's
going to get another go at it here.
One more chance.
Blame it on the mullet.
Exactly. He wants this scrum to move forward, but not forward at a pace where the ball becomes uncontrollable. Creeping forward slowly is the aim.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
And in for the try. Bustos in for his hat-trick. He's going to be over the moon with that. He's worked hard today. He's supported play well, and he's going to be over the moon with that. A hat-trick. Valentin Bustos, been one of our top performers here today. Really solid game. That could be final play. 9 tries.
And that is it. The final contribution is a conversion by Baltazar Taibo. He's been perfect. Iberians have been far from perfect. However, that is a convincing victory and a real statement of intent going into this season. Brussels Devils with a lot to work on. Iberians with a lot to work on as well. But that work is a lot easier when you've scored 9 tries on opening day.
Yeah, they're going to be pleased with that. They've obviously managed to get a lot of opportunities in the game today to score. You know, capitalising on 9 of those, they'll be pleased with. But you know, I think when they review this game at the start of next week, they're going to be disappointed that they missed out on a lot of opportunities. So going into the next game, there will be a focus on how they can score tries from those, essentially.
The competition's underway. Iberians off to the perfect start. 61-3 they've won. What have we learnt about both teams today, Adam?
I think what we've seen from Iberians is that they're extremely physical, they're dominant forward pack, very good scrum, very good at the drive and maul. Their line out is probably going to take a little bit of work, some inaccuracies there, a few overthrows. Difficult weather conditions, so understandable on that front, but they have got some dangerous players out in that back line, and when they manage to hold on to ball, they can be very threatening. But you know, I think the one thing that will come out of this game for them in particular is they need to up that conversion rate. When they get into the opposition 22-metre line, they have to up that conversion rate. You know, today I wouldn't be surprised if it was sitting pretty low. And certainly for the Devils, you know, I think they have to tighten up certain areas of their game. Their scrum's going to need to improve, their line-out defence, their line-out as well. just from a set-piece point of view. And I think their understanding of what they're generally trying to do, they looked a bit rattled at times and probably forced the play at times too, and didn't look too comfortable when they were on the ball. But it's early stages in this tournament, and I think there's massive room for improvement for both teams.
Well, two teams with different ambitions. 8 to 10 points was the target for the Devils. They didn't pick up any today, but they've got the opportunity to make it right as the competition progresses. Semi-finals is the target, then who knows? And in fact, I think we're going to hear from a very, very pleased, well, hopefully very pleased. It's always fascinating, isn't it? Iberian, very shortly indeed. 9 tries, 9 conversions. I wonder if they're happy with the performance. Let's go pitch side to find out.
Here we go.
Well, we'll be going to the interview very, very shortly. This Devils team, conceding 9 tries, particularly when you're full of optimism at the start of a new season, that's going to take some washing off, but they have to wash it off, don't they?
They have to. They have to focus on the things that they can improve, and ultimately those little changes that they can make and develop and grow on each week, those are the markers that they're going to have to judge themselves off. You know, for them, the next game might not be about winning. It might just be about seeing improvements in certain areas. And as we say, a big area I think that they can do that is at the set piece. If they can start to get that right and improve that, they're going to be able to keep themselves in games and prevent teams from scoring tries, especially that sort of 5-10 metres out, line out maul attack, which looked like a really strong area for Iberians.
Well, let's take a look at some of the stats then. Of course, 9 tries, 8 conversions, just the 1 penalty for Brussels Devils. I mean, there's not a huge amount we can learn from those. Well, what about the overall discipline then? It seemed like a game that was played mainly in the right spirits. I mean, we'll come back to that afterwards as we take a look at the sequence of scoring. It all kicked off with that Nijimole try early on, the dominant catch and drive from the line out, and then was finished at the end by the back row forwards. But now, let's hear from a very happy Iberian.
Testing, yeah, you can hear me? I'm here with Matthew Smith from the winning side, Iberians. Congrats on the victory. What are your thoughts after that game? How do you describe the emotions after the win?
I think we're pretty excited to have a win first up, and I think how we played in the first half was great. You'd probably expect a few more handling errors like we had in the second half with all the rain that was around, but the Brussels team was happy to kick us the ball and we were happy to play with it. So no, it was a good first half, and I think things fell away a little bit in the second half, but it was a lot of fun.
Great stuff. And what do the preparations look like ahead of your next match?
We'll be training all next week, sort of just trying to get the things right. You know, with the first game, you're obviously not really too sure what to expect so long apart from the last game. So things like the continuity and that kind of stuff, you're not sure how it's going to be. But, you know, what you can control is your attitude and your aggression. I think we showed that really well in the first half, and we'll look to build on that in this week coming for our next game.
Okay, great. Thank you. One last question, because I know you guys need to shoot off. What do you expect to face from the opposition next time out?
I think they kicked really well today, so we'll see more of that. They'll probably look to tidy up the set piece a little bit, and then they can control the game a little bit more from there if they're going to continue like their good kicking game. So maybe a little bit of a stronger set piece for them to launch from.
Okay, great. Thank you, Matthew. Cheers.
An honest assessment there from Matthew Smith. He came on and played his part, and it was the kind of game where, well, he should have scored really. And look at this now, as soon as the game finishes, beautiful blue skies. How typical is that?
I know, what's the chances? Always ends up like that, doesn't it? But it's one of those things that you just can't control. But, you know, I think Iberians can go off and enjoy their evening, and they'll be reasonably pleased with how things have ended up here today. Good start to the tournament. Devils, on the other hand, maybe a little bit disappointed, but as I say, they need to get their expectations right for this tournament, and I think their coach spoke quite nicely about that at the start of the game. So it's all about improving and moving on from here.
Well, Adam, it's been great to have your company for this one. Great to have your company wherever you've been watching around the world as well. The Super Cup season is
You to victory today, and what made the difference?
Yeah, we're pleased with the game. I think the forwards, especially in the set pieces and the line-up maul and scrum, managed to dominate the game for us. And we're very happy with that, although in the contacts we felt like the Belgium team, they give us a hard game in the contacts.
Okay, thanks very much. We know you got to shoot off, so safe travel home.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thanks, Mike. Take care. Pleasure.
Happy forwards coach will get on the road after a dominant performance for his team. And that is all from us Iberians. They've already got their first half century of the season. How much more quality will be to come from them? Brussels Devils with a lot to work on. That's the first of 4 games that you can watch on rugbyeurope.tv. It is Romanian Wolves against Tel Aviv Heat up next. And then tomorrow, 2 mouth-watering fixtures. Delta versus Lusitanos. And of course, the Georgian derby, Batumi versus Black Lion.
I'm here with Robin Vermeersch, Vice Captain of Brussels Devils. Thank you for speaking with us today, Robin. What are your thoughts after the game? How do you explain the defeat?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough game. We knew already it was going to be a tough game. But yeah, you can see the score. It's very harsh. But you know, I'm proud of the boys. You know, they kept going until the end. And yeah, obviously we still have a lot of work to do. It's the first game, so we'll get there eventually.
Okay. What positives can you take from today's game?
I mean, like the state of mind, you know. The state of mind, we kept going. Yeah, but obviously we still have a lot of work. Like we have 11 new players in this team. So it's the first game, we still have to find each other. So yeah, but it'll be better next time. We keep working, we'll get better.
Okay. Good luck. Thanks for your time, Robin. Cheers. All the best. Hi, Fred. Thanks for speaking to us after the game. Just quickly, a couple of questions. What were the key moments in the game where you felt the game was lost?
When you see the score, we have many moments, of course, but the real life of this level is when you do some mistakes, of course, they score, and is the high level. Then we have many mistakes, and then you have many times that, of course, is the turn point of the score. But we do continue to work, and also we must be proud about the guys because they are involved, but of course they make mistakes and the opponent score.
Bruising encounter. And what do preparations look like for the next fixture?
First time is to recover because I've seen we have many collision and powerful collision. Then we must recover, and after that we have a training session next Wednesday with some video and also some training session to prepare the best as possible the second match against Lusitanos in Portugal.
Okay. Good luck. Thanks very much for your time, Fred. All the best.
Yes. Ja, it's time. Ich glaube, die machen einen Sprint zum Flughafen. I think they're doing a sprint to the airport.